So my first question for you is, how do you feel as Ascend NBS approaches its upcoming 5th anniversary?
I'm extremely excited about Ascend NBS turning 5. It's a huge milestone for many small businesses. So I don't have the most up-to-date data and statistics, but I think it's something like 50% of businesses who get started don't even make it to this milestone. So it's huge for me in terms of that. And it's just a great life accomplishment as well. And to see the team grow and have people join us that have a similar vision to mine and really have buy-in into our mission, into our purpose, just really means a lot to me. And then there's the clients that we work with and the work that they're doing in communities across the country. So um, that amazing work is something that we get to be a part of in terms of helping them secure funding for their mission to create the impact that they're looking to. So, um, indirectly, Ascend is just really affecting millions of lives because of the work that we do, because we help organizations raise funds. And that's just something that's really exciting to me. And I feel very blessed to be in this position of us turning 5.
Agreed. That's great to hear. And I'm really great to be a part of this journey with you as well.
Me too.
I would love to hear about when you look back on the last 5 years, what are some of the accomplishments that are, that you're most proud of and that really stand out to you?
I'm most proud of creating a model that works for mainly women, but it's not exclusively for women. In my previous work experience, when I worked for others as an employee, it was really challenging to have a young family and to be a driven career professional, and the demands were a lot. And that stress led to a lot of health issues for me. And so to really see that I could create something that I wish I would have had back then, and to create it for others, and to create a space where historically, grant writing has always been seen as one of those very stressful positions within any, fundraising agency, whether it's government, schools, a nonprofit, a church, a ministry, those kinds of things. And so to really know that we could create a different environment and culture around grant writing where our people are not stressed, but we're doing great work and it's impactful without it affecting their health and their home lives is really huge for me. It's something that historically, especially before COVID, people just said that's just not the way it is. You have to acclimate to our Western work culture. And the truth is, you don't. And to just see something that I have created come to fruition and how it works for other people and the feedback that we get from the people who work for us and really like this environment where they have autonomy. Their skill sets are very respected and appreciated. And all they have to work up against is a deadline that's imposed by a funder and do good quality work. And so for the people that it works for, it works really well. And I'm just very appreciative that we have been able to capture that culture, to create it here, and that it's useful for other people.
Yeah, I think that's something that probably resonates with people across industries. So I think that's a massive achievement. I would love to hear about just when you reflect on the journey, what would you have done differently if you could go back and do it all again?
Oh. um, I guess I wouldn't change anything because you know what you know at that period in time. And hindsight is always 2020. And if I look back and I say, coulda, woulda, shoulda, yeah,
Mm.
that's nice, but that's just not reality. And so there are some things that I wish I would have known to do differently. I would have really been a little bit more cautious in the beginning about hiring employees
Mm.
And the reason for that was there was just a lot of stress on me at the beginning to not only provide for myself and my children, but then also to take care of, two other individuals who were employed with me at the time. So that's one thing that I wish I would have changed or would have known back then. But now, the journey was mine to take, and the time frame in which things happened and unraveled, and the exposure that I've gotten along the way. I think I did a pretty good job. There's always room for improvement, but I can't, look back and beat myself up over that. You know what you know at that period in time. And then when you learn more, you can implement and you can incorporate that into the work that you're doing, and hopefully create a better company, a better culture, a better way of doing the work that you do, and a better way of serving the nonprofits and government entities that are our clients.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense to me. Um, One of the questions that I have for you is just reflecting on your journey and how everything changed for you. What do you think were some of the biggest challenges in your transition, going from, being an employee and working for people to then transitioning to being a business owner?
I would say the only thing was security that a steady income being an employee provided.
Mm.
And that has less to do with me, but it had to do with the fact that I had two young children at the time. And so there was a lot, there's things that you can take on yourself, but then there's things that you don't want to impose on the people around you that you love and are your family. And so that was, I think, a little bit of a scary component for me for a while. And then the other thing is that at the time when I decided to make that transition, I also wasn't in good health from all of the stress that I had experienced before. So one, it wasn't that I didn't think I could do it. It was just I knew I could, but I knew it was going to take time. How much time I didn't know. And I no longer had a steady paycheck, and I didn't have benefits. And so that was something to consider. And I made that decision when my health wasn't optimal. And I guess, people could think that's a crazy decision to make. But I could look at the situation and think that I had security in my employer, but the truth is we don't. They could let us go at any time, and that security can be, pulled out from under you. So the investment in myself, I know what I'm capable of. That security within that was something that really helped me get past the fears that I had. And then it was just a matter of look for benefits somewhere else. They don't have to be provided by your employer, and there's many different opportunities. And when you're part of other groups like chambers of commerce, I'm a member of NABO, so NABO has this too, where you can get into joint policies as a collective group. So that took care of insurance. And then as far as, starting the business, I made a plan. That was a 6-month plan to exit my employer and start this business and save money during that time to provide that cushion for me for a couple of months before the business got up and running. And then the other thing that I did was really planning for the exit and starting to put my information out there that I was going to be available and that I was doing this. And so that led to me having a client before I even came up with a company name. And that brought a lot of peace in terms of making that transition. So I think putting those things in place help deal with those fears. I mean, I think we all have them when we start this, will I be successful? Will I enjoy it? Am I making the right decision for myself and for my family? I had all those things that I think a lot of entrepreneurs have. But if you believe in yourself, you're going to find a way. And I did. And I had a lot there. I'm in San Antonio, and so there's a lot of resources, excuse me, for small businesses. And so I knew from the beginning I just needed to tap into those and to find a tribe and a culture of people who had done this before me, that I could go to them and say, hey, what do I do here? I've never been in this situation. Or what did you do when you were faced with this? And so setting myself up for success with a strong network, planning for the day that I was going to leave, putting the information out there, and then taking care of health insurance is what really helped me ease into the transition.
It sounds like the mindset played a really big part in your success. And I think a lot of people who are thinking about starting businesses or have started, that's one of the hurdles for people. What advice would you give for anyone who's sort of struggling or doubting themselves and not sure whether they can, whether they can make their business a success or not?
Well, I think you already said it. It really is mindset. And it's having a belief in yourself. Yes, there's a million other people out there who are, making a cup. Or there's a million other people who are doing the same service as you, but you have a skill set that was seeded in you, and that's for a reason. And so there is somebody out there that needs your service, needs your product, wants your service, wants your product. And the other thing that I've learned in this is that sometimes we're as entrepreneurs, we're praying for our clients, and we're praying that they come our way. But the truth is, they're praying for us too, especially if they have been in situations that are stressing them out. They're not performing for their organizations the way that they need to. In our case, fundraising. They're experiencing burnout, all of those things. And so they're looking for help. They're looking for a good service provider. And so from that standpoint, it's, really you're the answer to someone's prayer as well. And so mindset is everything. You're not going to get it right. You're not going to not make mistakes. Those things are always going to happen. But, do you know what you're capable of? And do you firmly believe in the work that you're doing? And do you know that it meets a need? And I did for all of those things. I just had to navigate the space of how do I let others know what we're doing, and put that information out there. And it's organic and it takes time. And, are there some companies that overnight they're, a multi-million dollar, $1 million success? Yes, absolutely. But they're very few. And so I think if you get into this, that it's going to take some time. You constantly are going to have these thoughts that, hey, maybe I didn't make the right decision. But you have to come back to your why. You have to really understand what that is. And that really goes to mindset too, is, I don't know how long I will be doing this. I hope for a while, because I absolutely love it. It is a very different environment from when I was an employee, and I love it. And so from that standpoint, that mindset of just what is my why and why did I start this and what does it mean to me is something that's really important and continues to drive me, especially during the times of, stress or a lot of transition within the company. And, things happen in threes, I guess, from the most part for me. And so when one thing happens, I know two other things are coming. And so with that, just focusing on my why and the importance of the work that we do.
Thank you. That's really powerful. Um, I think now I'll delve into some questions about Ascend NBS itself. And I think my first question for you is just about the evolution of Ascend NBS, and how do you think it's kind of transitioned from the time you started, and what do you envision for its future?
Well, when we started, it was just me and the dog. And the dog was there to be my emotional support animal. I call her the chief wellness officer. So, like I said, I had work immediately. I had people who were waiting for me to quit my previous employer so that I could start working for them. That happened before I could even get my EIN number or figure out what my name was going to be, all those kinds of things. So, having business right up off the, as soon as I got started, was a blessing, but it was also a challenge because I didn't have time to think through some of the things that I wish I would have had a little bit more time to do.
Mhm.
I took on 2 clients right away, and it was just myself. And so that's how we started, with just me and an Acer computer, a really cheap Acer computer. I had saved money, but I really wanted that more for me and the kids. And so I didn't want to make a huge investment in this. And so I went and I bought an Acer computer, and that's what we started with, was just that, a little laptop. And then the business just really started to grow as more people found out about the work that I do, and they wanted to become clients. So I had to start developing a team, and now we're up to 15 individuals. People are all over the world, which I absolutely love, that we bring in people with different cultures, different experiences, different levels of education. I'm not just looking for people who have a degree on a wall. That's not really what matters in terms of the work that we do. There are many people out there without a college education who are extremely bright, who have a passion for the work that we do. And so the fact that we can create a space where everyone can come together, really around community and the work that we do, within those communities, and the impact that we create in people's lives, is something that's really important to me. And so that's just been the thing that I have really loved seeing this process, is we grow, and the different personalities that come into it and help to make the culture of the company, which I really just appreciate so much.
And from a client perspective, what would you say sets Ascend NBS apart from other businesses in the industry? And how do you make sure that you're kind of maintaining your uniqueness and authenticity at the same time?
Sure. So the title of grant writer resonates with people. They know exactly what that person does. They write grants and proposals for funding,
Mhm.
but that's really not everything that we are. And so if we just carry the title strategist, that can mean anything, right? And so it's less left subject to interpretation. So we do advertise ourselves as a grant writing firm, and we do training, we do consulting, we have grant courses that our clients can take online. We provide grant research and writing services. We do speaking engagements all around the subject of grant writing. But we're not just grant writers. And so anybody out there can go and type in grant writer, and they're going to get Upwork, and they're going to get, all other types of platforms like that, where people are advertising services. And those people can write a grant for you. But the difference that we do here is, the grant writing is, I'd say, 10% of what we actually do to help our clients secure funding. It's just the task. And there's so many programs out there that can do it, with ChatGPT and Grammarly and Word and all those other things. So we're not just grant writers. The way that we are very unique to our clients is the strategy and the perspective that we have. So we are what you call general grant writers. So that means we write for all different fundraising types of sectors. And then we write on a national level. So we have clients from coast to coast. And so that perspective gives us a really good idea into what is happening in philanthropy, what other organizations are doing that might be a little bit more advanced or progressive than some of our other clients.
Yeah.
And we get to bring that knowledge to them and say, hey, have you ever thought of this? This organization is doing this, and this organization is doing that. And we see what gets funded, and what is thinking outside the box, and what sparks the interest of a corporation, foundation, or government to want to give our clients funding. And so that, I think, is really the uniqueness of what we do. We really care about being able to help our clients accomplish their goal. We don't take on the responsibility of the goal, because grant writing is what I call a team sport. We're just one part of we're one player on that team. It really involves everybody else at the organization. And so the uniqueness is really that we're looking at it from the perspective of we don't just want to take a check or just get paid for just doing a grant. We want to enter into a partnership with our clients. We want our clients to succeed in their fundraising goals. We want to see that fundraising transcend into transformation, impact, making a difference in people's lives. And then we also want to see that for our clients, which is the other key thing, is helping them be able to grow and do what they do well, do it better, do it deeper, and do it broader for the people that they serve. And so we want to help them build capacity. And so that is something that's really important to us. So working with the right leadership on our client side really helps take us to the next level. So we're not a grant writer, we're part of the team, and we really work around a lot of strategy.
Thank you. So my last question was about your leadership style and just how it's evolved throughout the years. And what are the guiding principles that you would say that you really adhere to and really shape your decision making as a leader?
I think first and foremost is that I just have always had this idea that you leave people whole. And so everybody brings a different perspective, a different skill set. I don't want people who look like me. I don't want people who necessarily have my background or degree or come from the same college that I went to. I'm not interested in any of those things. I'm interested in what has happened in their life that has led them to wanting to do community service work in the way that we do it. And I think those are the things that are perspective. So I'm interested in their uniqueness. I'm interested in what makes them different. I'm interested in their opinion. And I want all of that to transfer into the writing and the type of work that we do. And so in terms of leadership, I don't like to micromanage people. I hated it done to me. I'm not good at it. At all. We're all adults. And so I think as long as I make it very clear as to what the expectations are, we're either a fit or we're not. And it's okay if we're not. And that's the other thing is I don't believe in making people feel bad because they didn't work out for my company or they didn't work out for working for me. Not everybody is going to like me. Not everybody's going to like my leadership style. I think I get more people that do like me than don't, but I'm not everyone's cup of tea. And so that's okay. And neither is my business model, and neither is this business. And that's okay. I look at it, my background is in science, and so I see life as a data point. It gives you some perspective as to, I like nonprofits, but I don't like grant writing, and that's okay. Or I like nonprofits, I like grant writing, but I don't like it in a virtual remote environment, and that's okay. And so I think it's really, for me, I love learning about people. I love learning about their culture and their experience. I want them to bring that to the work that we do. I'm not asking them to exclude where they came from or any challenges that they have in life. I want them to use that as their superpower to do the work that we're doing. And to make us a better company and to make me a better leader. I don't presume to know everything. I learn from the people that I'm around. I try and take feedback from people. I ask our staff about what we can do and what we can do better. And so I think that's what makes me a different leader.
Yeah, that's incredible. Thank you so much. That was my last question.